Howdy folks, Grok the DuckFarmer here, and I'm not on the FTOG Ozone Skyblock Reborn server. No, because the authentication servers are down right now, and that's okay. I'm on my creative single player world, and I like having them set up in every one of my packs so I can do testing. Now, I'm here because I got a comment on my channel for my number 14 video in the OSR server series, and it's from Quay853 saying, is it possible you could show off how to set up a mystical agriculture farm like this, pointing to my video? And then the answer is yes. Yes, I can. Now, a couple caveats. One, this is my way of doing it. I'm not saying this is the only way. I'm not even saying this is the best way. It's just my way of doing it. In the description down below, I've got a link to Fractured Flask and his video on how he set up mystical agriculture, and he does it differently, which I love. I think it's fantastic that we have different people doing the same task, but in different ways. Modded Minecraft. It's great. Anyway, so this is my way, and to make this happen, we need a project test like this, and it has to be made out of diamond, of course. What you want to do is get yourself a wheat seed and 9 inferium essences, and in the pack, you're going to get that through a mob farm. Just kill mobs. You want to do that early in the game anyway, so you need at least 9. Let's go ahead and grab that, plus a netherite hoe, because of course you got to have netherite hoes. What you want to do is make yourself, once you got the inferium essences, this seed, the inferium seed, and that's where 8 of them go in. And then the last one, the 9th one, will get you this inferium farmland. And you really want one of those to make processing the stuff a little bit easier. And then you're done with your hoe. You can throw it away. You don't need it. This, you'll want to go ahead and plant and put your inferium seed on it. And the reason why I say grow this inferium soil and grow your inferium seeds on it is you get a chance of getting an extra seed, which is free inferium. Because, yay, why not? So go ahead and do that. And as you get more inferium as this harvests, you can make more soil. You'll get more seeds. You'll get more inferium. Yay. Lather, rinse, repeat. Good. Now, once you've got yourself a farm, and this is your bog standard 9x9 with water in the center, vanilla Minecraft farm, what we've got here is an area where I can grow. And it'll take a while. Quite often what I end up doing is I'll just kind of AFK here underneath a solid block so the phantoms don't get me. And when I notice that there's seeds or that it's fully grown, I harvest. And then I just keep doing that and planting more as I get inferium. Now, if you've got a really fast running mob farm, you can get this going faster on you. Once you have more than you want to harvest manually, you will want to go ahead and avoid hitting the E. You'll want to go ahead and make yourself a harvester, any sort of power source, doesn't really matter. But I'd like in this pack to use the cyclic harvester because it's the best for my needs. Now, if we take a look at the settings in here, I like setting it to always on, and I like setting the height, even though the default is to have 1, I like setting it to 0. I'll just show you here. Let's go first to 1, and I'll turn on the preview. And you can see it's 2 layers that's being processed by the harvester. And the problem is this bottom layer, it's just dirt. It's not going to grow anything there that it can be harvested. So it scans each and every one of these 81 blocks and then scans the 81 blocks above where it can harvest stuff, and then it scans this useless layer here again, and then up. So you're wasting half of your time. Go ahead and set it to 0 because now it's only harvesting at the layer of the harvester. So yay, this is doing exactly what you want, and it will go through all 81 blocks, and when it's done, it'll loop back over here again. So you're getting 100% efficiency from the harvester. I'll turn that preview off. The other thing I do is I change the size down to the 9x9, because if it's up at the max size, then that's a huge area where there's nothing planted out there. So it's going to be spending what, 5 out of 6 times harvesting way out there where there's nothing. That's a waste. So let's go ahead and scroll it down to the 9x9 area, and let's turn off the preview. And that's what I use to harvest. That's as efficient as this is going to be. Any sort of power source, what you want, don't care. Gathering up the resources, multiple methods. I'm going to go with the absorption hopper from Mob Grinding Utilities, and I've got 2 of these radius upgrades, because if we take a look at the bounding box on that, it's 1 bigger than this 9x9 plot. It's an 11x11. And the reason why I do that is occasionally when one of these plants are harvested on the edges, the stuff, the essences that gets harvested will spit out and land in the block on the outside. And what that means is you lose it if it's not gathering it. With those 2 radius upgrades, it'll gather everything. Yay, that's what I'm looking for. Now, as far as what to place it in, I'm using storage drawers. I've got, some the inferium going in here, the seeds, extra seeds going in here. And as I get more seeds, I just replant them. So I get more and more. Now, at this point, I've got a farm that's filled with this inferium farmland, and I've got gathering and I've got the harvesting. It's working. Now, this farmland here that I have right now, this is insanium. And that's end game as far as making a farm is concerned. So, is it worth having? Yes, because the output is 350% of what the insanium does. So, there's the insanium, 100%. This is 350. You get more insanium out of this. Not insanium. You get more inferium out of this once you've got the insanium. And let's talk about how to get insanium. Yes, let's go over to here, talk about that. There's all the gathering, there's the harvesting, there's the gathering stuff. One of the reasons why I'm growing or having my mob farm go like crazy, I want 24 stacks of this inferium essence plus 4. I also need 2 diamonds and 12 prosperity shards. Now, the diamonds and prosperity shards you can get from sifting. So, that's all you really need. What I want to do is I want to go ahead and create this infusion crystal. And for that, there's 4 of the shards, the diamond, and 4 of the inferium essence. And I said 24 stacks plus 4. There's your 4. This will make for me the infusion crystal. And the drawback on this, yes, it's cheap, but the drawback is it's 1,000 uses only. And that's not so good. So instead, as soon as you've got your 24 stacks, go ahead and process each and every one of them. And so here's the prudentium, and then 4 to 1, we get ourselves the tertium, and then 4 to 1, we get our imperium, and then this goes down to supremium, and we want 6 of these supremiums, and you can see that little durability has been used up on there. What we want is 6 of these, 5 and 6. Ta-da! Now with 6 of these supremium essences, here's where we take our second diamond and half of the remaining prosperity shards. That makes the prosperity gemstone. And then 2 of these supremiums will give me the supremium gemstone. And now we can make the master crystal with the 6 total supremium essences. And this gives me unlimited uses. And that makes me happy because I don't break these things. And at that point, I don't need this anymore. It's gone. So at this point, I've got all the inferium I need. I can combine up to insanium, assuming I've got enough, and I'm generating it from my field here. I'm pretty good. Now, ways to speed up this harvesting. There is the torquing in the pack. It does nothing for the mystical agriculture seeds. Absolutely nothing. You can make yourself a watering can, and the different tiers have different radiuses that they water. Doesn't seem like it has a different amount of watering speed. It seems like it's the same speed of growth is what I'm talking about. This is the Awakened Supremium watering can. It's as high as it goes. It has a range of 13 by 13, which is definitely overkill for this 9 by 9 plot. However, I'm in creative mode. I can grab the top. This you create with this method. That's the Supremium. That's an 11 by 11. Imperium is 9 by 9. That's not bad because then I could just AFK pointing down here with my watering can and let the right click goodness water everything. And that will automatically harvest, and this will automatically gather. So AFK your heart away, go for it, make it good. The other thing that you can do that will help things is Supremium or Awakened Supremium full armor sets will do a 9x9 area around you of growth. You can see we got the little growth ticks going on there around. So yay, that is a very nice thing. It might be 4x5. No, I think it's 5x5. Looks like it's 5x5. And when you combine the watering can plus the armor, that goes even faster. The other thing that is worth it in the game, there it is, the Harvest Goddess Band. If you can get into Project E, see how fast this is growing? It really kicks things up a notch. And I did some testing with this harvester and this setup. The tick is not bad at all. This is a pretty good setup as far as you know how much tick it makes. It's fine. This is great. First, you have to get the harvesting band. That you need Project E, and that's going to be a while. Anyway, so that works out very nicely. Now, once you've got a good supply of the Inferium Essence that you can upgrade, and you've got the Master Infusion Crystal, then you'll want to start making other seeds. Like, for example, you take the Prosperity Seed Base, and that's Prosperity Shards and the seed, and then you need to make something with it. So if you hit U and the Infusion Crafting, pretty much you take 4 essences of whatever tier you need, 4 things that you want to make, and you put them in the crafting altar, and it'll make you a seed for that thing. So in this case over here, I went ahead and made one of these crafting altars and 8 of these infusion pedestals, and then underneath, we fall down. Underneath, I've got a lever because this needs a redstone signal to turn on. Typically, I'll put like a button or something else, rather, or you know, if you've got lots of redstone, you can just put a redstone block here. But typically, I put a button. That way, it's not constantly ticking trying to make a craft. I think ticks. Anyway, so I'm going to make an iron seed, and so for that, I needed 4 iron ingots and 4 of these tertium essences, and the order absolutely does not matter. So you can put them, you know, all 4 of the essences and then all 4 of the ingots, mix and match however you want, does not matter. Once you have the seeds in here and it's a good recipe, it will automatically turn on because I've got the redstone signal on. It'll automatically start. There's my iron seeds. I pull that out. I plant, and now this will go ahead and start growing for me. And if we hit the recipe U, it will go ahead, and as it grows, it will make for me iron essences, an occasional spit out of seeds, and occasionally this fertilized essence is what it's going to do, which means I need a essence drawer for the iron, I need a drawer for the iron seed, and I need another drawer for the, and we don't have any here, for that extra essence that will spit in. And just keep doing that as you keep adding more of the seeds and planting them. You need something to hold the essence, something to hold the seed, and that extra little bit of fertilizer. And you're good. Now, if I'm lucky, the servers are authenticated and I can go back to my base and I can show you how you can process all this stuff. It's early on the next morning, and I'm back onto the server. I gave up last night and said, I'm done, I'm going to bed. This area is my mystical agriculture area, and functionally, it's the same as what I just showed you. It's just that instead of having it all in one compact area, I kind of spread it out a little bit just for looks. Functionally, it's the same. It is a little bit wider than what I showed. It's not a 9x9. It is more like a 13x13, which is fine. A lot of the stuff there on the edges I'm not using because it's just out of range of my armor. I've got the Awakened on here, and so this just works. The other option, if I'm going to AFK here for a while, I will go ahead and use my sprinkling can, and I'll look down here. Okay, let's change position. I'll look down here, and I'll just, okay. It's been a while since I have to crouch when I'm on the travel anchor because this is fairly new, but this really speeds up the growth. And you know, I can do this. Most of the time I don't pull out the can here unless I'm actually wanting to stand here and grow something specific a bunch. But if I'm going to do that, there's other methods. Anyway, so I'm purposely not looking around as much as I can because there's spoilers of stuff that hasn't been shown yet. But this works. Now, there is one thing that I do need to show off that I haven't explained yet. If we go under the island here, here's one of the holes. I'm using my Tesseract here instead of going directly into storage to move my storage into my building. And I've got 3 absorption hoppers because when this is going at full tilt, there was a while one hopper was not doing it enough. Things were staying up there when I had my watering can going, and I don't want items sitting in the world. Now, the other thing that I've got here are these growth accelerators, and part of the quest here in the Ozone Skyblock Reborn, it calls for you to make the different tiers of these growth accelerators. They all work the same as far as how fast they speed up the tick, and you can increase that tick growth by stacking multiples of these, but that interferes with the size of my island. And I said, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to put all of these underneath each of the plots of land. And the only difference between these is the amount of distance up that they will grow, help things grow. So make the cheap. You don't. Now, you do need some of these cruxes. And if you're growing, like in this case, Gaia Spirit Seed, or over here, I've got the Nether Star. If you're growing those seeds, and they are called out in JEI, you need that crux underneath. Not if you're using a botany hopper pot. Then you don't need to worry about that. You just need the soil and go for the top that you've got. Anyway, so that's what this is doing here. And if we come down carefully, I've been going in and out a bunch as I've been monkeying around with things. This little spot here is where I access my harvester. So I can tweak things over here, but it's all pretty much the same. Let's get out. There we go. I've fallen multiple times as I touch the ground. And anyway, one of the reasons why I added this travel anchor here was so that I could easily get back and forth to my base. See, just like that, boom. Or I could go, hey, let's go back to my mystical agriculture. Boom, really fast, which is very nice. Now, for the longest time, I just stacked up everything. You know, you can see there's a bunch of seeds and essences over there. I've changed things up. So this is my wall of seeds for backup. I took a stack of each of my seeds that I'm using and put them in here in this wall. And this is my processing center, which I have not shown off yet, so you're seeing it now. What I've got here, there's the other end of the Tesseract coming in, and it's hard to see, but there's pipes here going into this drawer controller so that it stores stuff. This chest here, I can just put stuff into here, and it also goes into the drawer controller, so I can dump stuff to dive into there. And then also here I've got the seed reprocessor, and that also will dump into the drawer controller. So up at the top, I've got all the seeds of everything that I've got planted over in my garden, and if I come back around, they are all being imported out of here into the top of the seed reprocessor because that's what it requires. It doesn't go in from other sides. And the seed reprocessor will take each seed and break it down into 2 essences. This is another input for when I have lots and lots of seeds. When I had many thousands of seeds, I would just dump them into here so they get reprocessed. And it's got the top tier machine upgrade, so it's pretty fast. Anyway, this, when it breaks down the essence, it will go ahead and store it into here. This is one of the byproducts, that fertilized essence. And if you grab a stack of this and right click on a plant, you will help it to grow. It's not 100% instant growth, but it's pretty good. So, and it's a free byproduct, so why not? This is just an overflow over here. That's why it's way over there. And then down here are all the essences of stuff that I want to process, so that I'm not storing the essences. The essences don't do me any good as is. I want the stuff processed out of them. So there's my inferium. And all of these, if we look around the back again, just like above, these all get processed and pulled out and then pushed into the crafters underneath. So let's look at the first one. This here is the first one I set up, and I just moved it from downstairs up to here. This is processing all of my inferium. So all the inferium essence that comes in gets converted up the line, and then it gets turned into insanium, and that I store. And if I need something, like I need some prudentium, I'll come into here, I'll typically grab whatever's above it, decompose it down, which you can do. And so now I've got 4 inferium, or maybe I need some tertium, or maybe I need some prudentium, you know, whatever. It grows really fast. So, and then when I'm done, I can just either put it in here manually, or I can dump it into here and it gets shoved in and it gets processed into here. No, it does not. That does not get processed into here because there isn't a slot for this. I lied. I come into here and I say, here, have that. And it just builds it up. A little bit of a trick here with these crafters. You put in the recipe, and this needs to be internal, because once this has crafted up, it stores there. And then for the tertium, same thing, internal, it gets stored here. And on up to the insanium, where instead of external, it's external C, where the stuff that's left behind, like buckets, or in this case, the master infusion crystal, those pieces stay back into the system, but the end result, the insanium, that gets put into the output and gets picked up and taken away. Likewise, the nether star shard, that stays internal because it's making this, from the essence, it's making this shard. And then the next one, where I combine 3 of those shards, it gives me a nether star. That's external and goes out. And diamond and everything else just goes straight out. And I've got, you know, here's another one with 8 recipes. And I plug in some cobblestone here, and then I put in one of each of, at least, of each of the essences. And then I told it to remember the current items. So this, it's kind of faded. That means only the lapis essence can go there. And it keeps this clean. And especially if you have a major dump of essences, it doesn't fill up your crafter. It stays up here in the drawers. And each one of these keeps going. And this final one, I haven't got anything in it. But this one is filled up. So if I decide I need a little bit more, I can just extend this at least 3 more blocks before I run into my, that's my power center. And underneath, it's hard to see because it's got bricks in the way. There are pipes running out of here into a drawer controller. And that's part of this separate drawer array that pushes all the items into here or on the other side. And this works out really, really well. So these drawers mainly, or these drawers were not drawers, these chests were here mainly to allow me to dump in lots and lots of essences and seeds, because when I initially started with this, here's the compressed iron. When I initially started with it, I had thousands and thousands of the essences and a couple thousand of the seeds. So I just filled up my inventory, came up here, dumped them in, let them process, and just watch them slowly make the finished goods for me. Because the essences, not all that useful, but the finished goods are. Those I like. So that's how I've got this set up. And that's how, do you have to do it this way? No, you don't have to do this But I find this works out very nicely. And this structure behind me, I borrowed that from Middleclaw because he had, instead of the double layer, he was doing the chests that hold 2 sets of items and had just a single row. And I was too lazy. I set up them separately. So they're running in parallel, but it works for me because it's my setup. That's how I'm doing it. Anyway, this has been Grok the DuckFarmer here, playing now on the FTOG Ozone Skyblock Reborn server and showing off how I do mystical agriculture, at least with this pack. And thanks for watching. Bye.